Hey everybody, welcome to the Money Reviews. Today we are looking at the Umarex Airsoft MP5SD6 Competition model. This guy here is a pretty great gun to get you into Airsoft and start you on the path of obsession in this hobby. So what this is an MP5. It is all polymer Airsoft gun, and it is sub $200. Technically, it's like $199.99. I know that's not much of a sub $200. It's an affordable gun. It's a great entry-level gun. The one thing it doesn't come with is a battery. I think that kind of sucks because you have things like Lancer tac guns that are in the same price range that do come with batteries. Batteries aren't terribly expensive. I have a grouping of batteries over here I'll show you that will show kind of what does and doesn't fit inside here near the end of the video. So stay for that if you want to see. I will show the battery I did purchase for this build and for this gun is this guy here. It was on Amazon. My editor will show you a little splash up for this battery if you're curious, because it fits perfectly in this gun. I'll show you a couple more that do and don't fit. This is the second one. This is my son's. We're doing a buddy build project thing. We'll get more into that later. Anyway, so this guy here, pretty neat gun. This video may or may not contain chronoing, and it may or may not contain shots of the gun being fired and accuracy. If it doesn't have any of that information near the middle or end of the video, then that means there will be a part 2, and that part 2 will encompass all of that information, like the chronoing, how it handles the different BB weights, and etc. If you see any screen within screen videos of it chronoing and we start going over that information, then there will be no part 2. But if there's none of that information pops up, there will definitely be a second chapter. Please come back for that. Anyway, enough of that. So when you get this guy, you're going to open it up. As you see, I've already kind of cut the plastic. You'll have some forbidden candy. We'll get that out of the way. You'll have a manual that comes in French, English, and Spanish, Espanol. I guess those are the 3 major markets they expected to sell these in. That's my assumption. And it goes over all the information you need, how the hop-up works, etc., and how to get access to battery compartments, how to take the faux suppressor off, blah, 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 how to use the high caps. Just goes over everything. Pretty useful information if you've never touched an airsoft gun before, especially. You have a little ad for BBs, and you've got this thing telling you if the thing is a lemon. Don't try to give it to the store or contact them, because that's how you're going to return it. In the package, you've got the gun, 2 high-capacity magazines that are made of metal, and a little Allen key. The Allen key is for adjusting your motor height. We'll show you that in a second. The 2 high caps are all right. The thing I don't like is, if you notice, the lids for the high caps just kind of do that on their own. So if they snag in a pocket or pouch, you're going to open up and spill your BBs. I think that's kind of chintzy. I wish they had clicked in when they closed the lids. I think that kind of sucks. It is what it is. That's why I prefer mid caps. No lid, no rattling, no BBs to fall out. But it is nice it comes with 2 of them and not 1, so kind of helps you out. Then you've got the gun here, and you got a cleaning, jamming, unjamming rod down here. A lot of people throw these away. I don't know why. Wish I could get it out. These things are super useful. They're very helpful. Keep them. A lot of airsofters who've been playing the game as long as I have like about 30 of these things. They're definitely worth keeping. Do not throw it away. You might need it, especially if you get a BB stuck inside of your barrel somewhere and the hop up, pop it out. If you do, just keep this thing, throw it in your gun bag, have it around. You never know when you're going to need it. All right, so the gun. The gun is, like I said, plastic. There's like a couple metal pieces. This piece here for the old HK 3-point slings, that piece is metal. This piece down here for the mag release is metal. This little piece for the sling, for the 3-point sling, is metal. And I believe the front side post might be like a pot metal, and the gearbox internally is metal. And then the bottom here for your motor is metal. There's your motor height adjustment screw, which you need this guy for, your little Allen key. That's metal. Otherwise, it's all plastic polymer. You've got a roughly 3-stage buttstock. Pop that, little string assist pops out. First, second, final. Pretty cool, not too bad. You have a sling attachment point here. Pretty small, not a fan of that. I wouldn't really probably use that. And if you did, be really careful with it. It's supposed to be for HK hooks. I don't know if an HK hook will fit in that. I think I've got one here. Let me let me consult the bin. I think I've got one in the bin of pieces here. Thought I pulled one out the other day when I was working on a sling. Maybe not. No, I thought I did. I was going to show you, see if the HK hook will fit, but I guess I didn't have one in there. Another time, another video, we'll see if an HK hook actually fits in there. Otherwise, I would just route a sling through there and then use this. This is plastic. HK hooks will fit in there. I know a U-loop from Blue Force Gear will fit. Your mileage may vary, be careful. So 550 cord might be a better solution. But be careful, because if that breaks, you're kind of SOL. Where was I? Oh yeah, so whole body is polymer, but it feels good. It's got a nice weight, it's got a nice feel to it. I would not count this guy out. The arms for the stock are polymer, but they almost feel like aluminum at first feel. I was kind of surprised. These will kind of loosen up over time. Mine, they already start to feel kind of wonky, but not too terrible. We'll bring mine out in a moment. On the top of the receiver here, you've got these 4 lugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's for mounting a optic rail for red dots or sights of some nature, and it's pretty nice. Your rear sight is not metal, it is plastic. It's a standard HK dioptic sight, and it just adjusts up and down. I kind of wish they had put your, sight information here with your ranges. I don't know why they didn't. It's a simple thing they could have put, but they just chose not to, and I think that's kind of a bummer. It does have your HK pictograms, safe, semi, and auto, and it is ambidextrous. So that's kind of cool. You have a magazine release here. Now, getting to that is kind of hard. You got to kind of break your grip unless you got crazy long fingers. The paddle is just so much easier to use. That's just my opinion, but that's what I like. The grip itself feels pretty good. I'm actually a big fan of the HK grip angle. I always have been. It's got the navy lower navy grip. Lower is nice. It feels good. The real one, the lower would be polymer anyway. So the areas you're touching the most on this toy are usually polymer. So it doesn't really detract that the gun is polymer, because the areas that would be metal, you're not really touching a lot. So it doesn't really, I don't notice it. And it's got a good heft to it. It feels good. Now, so the airman's probably thinking, does this work? It does. But it does nothing. So this faux bolt is just molded into the upper receiver. It doesn't move back. That's not how you access the hop up. You can slap it. I don't recommend doing it a lot. That will break. You see these very commonly up for sale. eBay, hop up. That's broken off and missing because they slapped it a lot, and everybody wants to give her a slap, and then this breaks. The hop up is right here. It's this little lever. You move it back for more hop and forward for less hop. It comes to you with the lever forward for no hop. So when you first try to shoot it, you'll be like, oh my God, the BB's just kind of, Well, you just move the hop back and you'll be good to go. The front is ribbed for your pleasure. It is nice. It feels good. Actually doesn't feel bad. It's a pretty decent feeling front polymer. Some of the other models I had in the past were like Classic Army. This felt more rubbery. This is just a hard plastic, but it doesn't feel bad. It feels pretty good. Like I said, front side post might be pot metal aluminum. I know on mine it started to chip a little bit after just goofing around with it, and it was kind of silvery. It wasn't too bad. Now this is kind of interesting. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up very easily. Yeah, you can kind of see that. It's orange under there. This cocking tube is like an orange plastic. I don't know why. This will wear very quickly. So on mine, it started showing through fast. And I was like, what the hell? So I don't know why this is like an orange plastic polymer, but it is. And that will start to wear and show very fast on yours. So keep that in mind. Once it starts abrading and you start running around and goofing with it and using it, you're going to start to see this orange showing through. And I don't think that's an American thing for the orange tip. I just think that's just the plastic they used. As you can see under there. It's really strange. I don't know why they did that. The front right here, this is the faux suppressor. To take it off, quarter twist, and it pops off. Underneath here, you've got this plastic lug, and that's where your inner barrel is, and then nothing to it. These are replaceable with a replacement part from Cyma. I actually have a review coming out of that piece. You'll see that here pretty soon on the channel. And you're actually going to see that piece here in a second, make a surprise appearance. This plastic piece here, this orange piece, is difficult to remove. Removing that is kind of a apples and oranges. Some people are like, don't do it, you can't. You can. You're allowed to. It's there for sale. I don't recommend it. If you are not, I don't recommend it. I highly recommend buying a second one. It's $20. The metal one, it just looks better anyway. Keeping this one, so when you travel, you take this one off, put your metal one on it when you get to the field, and then when you are going to go back home, you put this one back on, and now you have the orange tip when you're traveling, and even when it's in your gun bag. That way you always have the orange tip. You don't got to worry about any shenanigans. That's my recommendation. It's whatever. If you're new to the game, and especially if you're a kid, if you are under the age of 18, leave your orange tip on. There's no reason to take it off. The front here, so this little ribbed for your pleasure section. This here is where the battery goes. So you've got these little clips. These are important. Don't lose these. You're going to need them. If you lose those, you can't secure your front and your SOL. So this goes on only one direction. The way I took it off is the way it has to go back on. If you reverse it, you're going to end up aping out like I did, like Neanderthal, because it won't go on, and you'll just be like, what the fuck, and not be smart enough, because you're going to have a Neanderthal PTSD moment, and you're going to just not think to reverse it and try it, and you're going to want to throw the gun across the room like I did. So don't do that. So it does only go on the one direction. So what I recommend is when you take it off, put it down the direction it needs to go back on. Battery compartment is actually pretty big. I heard a lot of people saying how it wasn't very big. I disagree. I think it's very spacious for what it is. Small Tamiya connector, inline fuse. Now, the inline fuse does take away some of your space. Take that for what it is. You could unclip the fuse from here to make this move a little more, to where you can push the fuse up under. Oh, no, you did. Never mind. I lied to you. There's actually a plastic spacer under there. I thought there wasn't a solid spacer, so you can't do that. You could run it without the fuse. You could rewire this whole chunk here for no fuse. I don't recommend that, but you could. So, if there was no fuse present at all, you could fit this 1600 mAh old school battery in here with no issues, because that would drop in right there, and this one would drop in right there, and it would fit. But because of the fuse, this guy is a no-go. This guy here, though, this butterfly, who is getting kind of puffy, he needs to be retired. This guy fits. It fits very well, because you got the thinner cell of the two that goes on here. Lock it up, sign it up, and it goes on. So this 11.1 butterfly is quite good. It's a 1200 mAh battery, and it fits in here, and it's good to go. So this is a plus. This is a go. This guy here, this chunky 11.1 1200 mAh battery, he does not fit. He kind of gets in there, but he does not fit. You can't close the thing. He's a no-go. This guy here is perfect. This is a 2000 mAh 11.1, and it is like a glove. Fits perfectly in there, no issues. This is the battery I actually picked up for this build. Editor's going to flash up the little screenshot of where we got it on Amazon. I got this from Amazon I got the gun, because I specifically wanted to be able to get most everything on Amazon. That was the whole point of this. So this is a good battery. Some people will say don't use an 11.1 with this. I've heard people say do, don't do. Stick with a 7.4, blah, blah, blah. Stick with an M. I just got an 11.1. So screw it. We'll see how it handles. We'll see how long the box lasts before it just eats itself. So we went with an 11.1. Fits fine. So yeah, there you go. You could go with one of these. This 1200 mAh little butterflies. These guys, they're just a no-go. This big, fat, chunky guy just doesn't fit from Tenergy, and this guy here doesn't fit either. So one of these smaller ones is definitely a win. It is the better of the two. As far as this gun goes, it is pretty rad. I really do like it. I just said put it back on the way it goes, and there you go. Pretty cool. So what you can do with it is kind of what I started to do with mine. So this is my gun, same one. We have an optic mount on here. Pointed out the lugs. It's hooked on the lugs, so I'll take the EOTech off. So this is an EOTech 552. A little bit of overkill. because this optic costs more than both these guns combined, or it did when it was new. So this is a mount. We lost the light. Oh well, fuck it, we'll keep going. This is a mount that is off Amazon as well. I did a review on this. You'll hear me talk more about it, the issues I had with it. But this mount does fit on the little locking lugs. It fits fine. And then you'll notice the front of mine looks a little different. That's because I actually hit it with some spray paint because of like what the issue I was telling you about, where that orange was showing through. And I was like, eh. And then this is the faux suppressor from Cyma. It is metal. It goes on just fine. And it is beautiful. It looks great. So, and then I told you how on mine, I felt like the arms were getting just a little loose. So they kind of flare out just a hair from the body, comparatively how tight in those look. So that's what you get after a few weeks of really kind of in and outing the stock and using it, is the arms started to kind of warp a little bit. It's not bad, but it is noticeable. You feel it. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So the polymer did kind of start to settle and warp out. Take that for what it is. I don't know if that's helpful information, but there you go. So this is brand new, right out the box. This guy is about a month old of us using it and abusing and testing it. Holding up just fine. I cannot wait to get, yeah, you can see it's already metal starting to wear around here, but it looks good. It makes it look nice. I cannot wait to get this guy out to the field and actually use it in a game. It shoots beautiful. It runs beautiful. Very accurate for what it is. Anyway, like I said, I think I've talked all I can about these things for what they are. Final thoughts. Gun feels good. It's got a good weight to it. I think it is worth the money. Complaints I have are, I think Umarex should have added a battery for the price point, considering you have Lancer and other guys doing the same thing. It is nice that it came with 2 high caps. It would have been nice if it came with a simple battery to be playable right out the box, like a Lancer M4 is, because that's the only downfall, is now you're spending a little more money, but you're not spending a ton of money. This was not expensive. It's 20 something, maybe 30 bucks at most. So for 230 bucks, you're getting your gun, your battery, and 2 magazines to go out and play all day long. And it's just a fantastic gun. And you don't even, and then maybe another 20 bucks, you can get a sling from like Krydex. So now you have a sling, gun, magazines, and now you can go play all weekend. You can go have a good time and find out if you like Airsoft. So my negatives are far less than the positives. The polymer feels good. It shoots well. You'll see in part 2 how well it shoots for what it is. And I don't think it's going to need a lot of TLC. We're not going to touch the hop-ups for part 2. We're going to just do stock guns. There's not going to be nothing to it. And then we're going to do build project for both these. We're going to build them out, and then we're going to go from there. And everything we do for at least my build is going to be something you could do off of Amazon. It's going to be something you could build using just Amazon gift cards, if that's what you end up getting. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this. I hope I covered everything and just didn't waste your time with this review. I know a lot of people have covered these and talked about them. Like I said, they are a couple years old at this point. This is my review and my overview of the SD6. I think it's definitely worth getting. Please come back for part 2, where we go over all of the intricacies of how well it performs, how well it shoots, etc. Anyway, guys, as always, get out there, man. Play some Airsoft. Take a chance on some guns that you think might not be great, because just because it's 200 bucks doesn't mean it's a bad gun. And just because you've been playing Airsoft for 20 years doesn't mean you have to spend $500 on an AEG, because a $200 AEG might be a fuck ton of fun, because this one really is. That's all I got. Take care. Get out there. Like I said, play some Airsoft. LARP smarter, not harder. And hopefully see you guys on the field. Take care.